So it's done. You've killed the gourmet. And now, Titus Mead II is as good as dead.
The dread father works through me, and his work
Oh,
has
yes.
just begun.
And I've decided you will have the honor. Look at you. So calm, so confident. I do believe you were born for this task. So let's begin.
I live.
Go now to Castle Dower in Solitude. Present the gourmet's writ of passage to the officer in charge, Commander Marrow. I'm sure you remember him. You'll gain unrestricted access to the kitchens, and then the Emperor. You're posing as a chef, so you'll be able to poison his meal rather easily.
And I will follow. Child
Here, take this.
of
It's called
darkness.
Jaren root. All it takes is one taste, and the effects are quite immediate. The Emperor will be serving Sithis before he even knows he's dead. Once Mead has been killed, escape through the upper door and across the bridge. I've arranged for it to be unguarded once the alarm is sounded. Now go, my friend. Go and fulfill your destiny as listener.
Killer Boy's mother and vengeance.
It's a rare plant, found only on the island of Stros Mackay. It can be served like any vegetable, cut up, put in a salad, perhaps boiled in a stew. One taste will lead to nearly instant death, so don't even think about it. It took all the favors, bribes, and blackmails I could muster, but I've secured your exit out of the keep.
I was always
Just
partial
follow
to
my instructions,
temples
and the Dark
myself.
Brotherhood will be back on top. All thanks to you, listener. Watch yourself out there.
something?
Hey,
Right out here. I don't know how you stand it.
I'm warning you. Back off! That's close
Where'd
enough.
you come from?
better be important.
I was always partial to
What is it?
Be careful. The Forsworn are just as dangerous.
Here's something.
So ends the lesson.
Your enemies will soon know the wrath of Sithis. My listener. I grow just as my blade.
These pillars must have something to do with it.
Yes, these are Akavir symbols. Here, let's see. You have the symbol for king and warrior, and of course the symbol for dragon. That's the one that appears to have a sort of arrow shape pointing downward at the bottom.
Lead on, brother.
What? Nakast!
There is murder in the air. I can taste it.
Yes, that's it. The symbol on the pillar on the left.
Whatever you did, it worked. Let's see what those old blades left in our way.
A poison stool, then. was always...
You should be careful here. See these symbols on the...
These pillars must have something to do with it.
Yes, these are Akaviri symbols.
Whatever you did, it worked. Let's see what those old blades left in our way.
A poison stool. I was always partial to apples myself.
Wait,
Why are you stopping?
we should be careful here. See these symbols on the floor?
Look safe now. Let's move.
Yes, and I think we're getting close to the edge.
Powers of the void. The dread Father works through me, and his work has just begun.
Wonderful. Remarkably well preserved.
Your enemies will soon know the wrath of Sithis.
Here's the blood sea. Another of the lost Akaviri arts. No doubt triggered by, well, blood.
My time saw the
Your
assassination
blood,
of an emperor as well.
And look here. You see how the ancient blades revered even Cyrodiil?
The honor of that kill.
It's coming to life. You did it. Where's the entrance? After you, Dragon. You should have the honor.
Huh?
Here is Alduin. This panel goes back to the beginning of time, when Alduin and the dragon cult ruled over. Isn't it amazing? Ah, thank you. Excellent. Now, here, the humans rebel
As well.
Lord.
Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not.
Alduin's defeat was a setback.
That kill.
You see, here is fallen from sky. The Nord tongues, masters of the
Quite
voice.
noisy for someone who claims to be a
Do
thief.
you need something? So does it show how they defeated him? Isn't that why we're here?
Patience, my dear. The Akaviri were not a straightforward people. Everything is couched in animal and mythic symbolism. Yes, yes. This here, coming from the mouths of the Nord heroes, this is the
In
Akaviri
life,
symbol for shout.
We're going to make them pay. Speaker for the Black Hand, but you.
You mean they used a shout to defeat Alduin? You're sure?
There is no higher honor.
Oh, yes. Presumably something rather specific to dragons, or even Alduin himself. Remember, this is where they recorded all they knew of Alduin and his return.
So we're looking for a shout then. Damn it. You ever heard of such a thing? A shout that can knock a dragon out of the sky?
Through me and his work.
You're probably right.
Just
I was hoping to avoid having to involve them in this, but it seems we have no choice. If they had their way, you do nothing but sit up on their mountain with them and talk to the sky or whatever it is they do.
is yours.
The graybeards are so afraid of power that they won't use it. Think about it. Have they tried to stop the Civil War or done anything about Alduin? No. And they're afraid of you, of your power. Trust me, there is no need to be afraid. Think of Tiber Septim. Do you think he'd have founded the Empire if he'd listened to the graybeards? Good. The graybeards can teach you a lot, but don't let them turn you away from your destiny. You're Dragonborn, and you're the only one who can stop Alduin. Don't forget it. Right. Good thing they've already let you into their little cult. Not likely they'd help Esbern or me if we came calling. We'll look around Skyhaven Temple and see what else the old blades might have left for us. It's a better hideout than I could have hoped for. Talos guard you.
No poison stirred me. I was always partial to Tabriel's myself.
In search of the dragon. Here are the Akaviri.
You're home! You're home! Can I get a few gold to spend? Please? You're the best. Thanks. Banning said I could come play with his dogs. Wow, really? What do you get me? teasing me. I climbed all the way up to the temple, but they said I wasn't old enough to get in. They're just mean. Stay safe. Papa! What is it? What is it? Thanks. Did you need something, Papa? Stay safe. Yes?
I was always partial to apples. Myself.
What? Nakas!
The sisters are communing with Dibella. They can't be disturbed. I'm sorry, the Temple of Dibella is closed. The sisters are communing with You'll have to come back another time. Is there something I can do for you? Well, you are lovely to look at, and there's so many things I could teach you, but I'm afraid the temple isn't taking in new students.
My time saw the assassination of an emperor at... well... An ancient city, Markarth, built by the Dreamer, the dwarves of old. To think, an entire race eradicated. Not even I can take credit for that feat.
And just what do you think you're doing? Unfortunately for you, we don't allow men into the inner sanctum. You have committed a breach and must pay the penalty. Normally, a quick death. Luckily for you, there are more pressing matters. We could make an example of you, but perhaps you could be put to better use. The ceremony you so rudely interrupted was the exalted protocol of the Dibellan Sibyl. I don't expect you to know what that means. Suffice to say that our Sibyl was recently lost to us. Through the protocol, we have seen the home of the next Sibyl, to the north, and if you can travel there and retrieve our young Sibyl, your transgression will be forgiven. We believe the place in our vision to be Karth Waste. Now move quickly. The girl must be brought to the temple as soon as possible.
Of darkness.
Have you heard of the blessing of Dibella? Or give you strength if you happen to offend one. Typically, we avoid bestowing it upon men, but for the Sibyl's escort, we could make an exception. The Sibyl of Dibella spends her entire life from the time she's a little girl to the moment she expires. From her reverie, we know the mind of our god. We have had a vision of the next Sibyl, living in a village to the north. She must be brought to the temple for her reverie to begin. It's considered a great honor for the family. Their daughter will never know hardship, and the goddess blesses them with great bounty. We prefer not to announce that the Sibyl has died until we can introduce the new one. People like to know that we're connected to the goddess.
A poison stew, then. I was always partial to apples myself. mortals will soon know the wrath of Sithis.
Make it quick.
Yes.
Time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor of that kill.
Speak.
But grow restless, as does my blade.
Yes? Devella's blessing to you. A poison stew, and I was home.
May your weapons be...
My time. The Dread Father. What? Through me and his work. restless, as does my blade.
Yes, yes.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
What prey awaits us? One day, you will serve our dread father, as I do now. A poison stew. I was always partial to bulls myself. My time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor.
Sarnok might, yeah? We're all looking for something. Yeah? We're all looking for something.
You're not from here. Damn it, man. Are you trying to taunt us? Our daughter, Theotra, was taken from here. The Forsworn descended and they didn't touch anything else, just our little girl. It was the Forsworn from Broken Tower. Never been much trouble before. What's it to you?
And I
She... Really?
powers of
Well, that's...
the void.
I wouldn't have dreamed. Of course we need her in Markarth, then. I'll come with you. Thank you, friend.
I grow restless, as does my blade.
One side, coming through.
A poison stew.
There. My pa was a sailor.
I was
He...
always partial to
Died a few days later. I'm running food. Don't pay much, but they let me sleep by the fire in the inn most nights. I'm late. Gotta run.
Next Imperial I see is dead.
There was some ruckus over there by the weird black door. You weren't involved in that craziness, were you?
Just a servant of
Dumb as you look.
Worthy of
Excellent.
time or consideration.
You've done us a great service. Here is your reward. Don't bother me again unless it's important.
I'm here. I had hoped life would be simpler here, if you could call it. I fought in the Great War. About 30 years ago, they ended up sacking the Imperial City. By Akatosh. All the blood. The smell of flesh burned and...
Nakast!
My time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. The Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor of that kill.
So, haggling with you can be so entertaining. Until you summon me again.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
A poison stew. I was always partial. Apples myself.
Huh? Huh?
My time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor of that kill. I remember Skyrim from my youth, and glistening crimson on fields of white. I live. Again.
What can I do for you? Yes?
My listener.
Your training proceeds well, Dragonborn. Dragons have always been able to shout. Language is intrinsic to their very being. There is no difference in the dragon tongue between debating and fighting. Shouting comes as naturally to a dragon as breathing. In mythic times, when mortal kind was in great need, the goddess Kinnereth granted us the ability. For most people, long years of training are required to learn even the simplest shout. But for you, the dragon speech is in your blood, and you learn it almost without effort.
Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor of that kill.
The voice was a gift of the goddess Kinnereth. Although this gift has often been misused, true mastery of the voice can only be achieved when your inner spirit is in harmony in the contemplation of the sky, Kinnereth's domain, and the practice of the voice. We strive to achieve this balance. That is commendable. But remember, the dragon blood is itself a gift of Akatosh. Your destiny requires you to use your voice. Why else would Akatosh have bestowed this power? If you remember to use your voice in service to the purpose of Akatosh, you will remain true to the way. You have learned so much already, Dragonborn, growing your gift too quickly. But there are many words of power in Skyrim, carved in the dragon tongue. Even from here we can feel the thum. Finding these lost words would be a sufficient test to temper your abilities with experience. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes?
In life, I was but a speaker for the Black Hand, but you have been named listener. There is no higher honor.
What I want is irrelevant. This shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn. No, not now. Not until you return to the path of wisdom. I have given my answer. Go and reconsider your course. I have given my answer. Go and reconsider your course. Dragonborn.
Where'd you...
Forgive me, I was intemperate. I allowed my emotions to cloud my judgment. Master Einar reminded me of my duty. The decision whether or not to help you is not mine to make. No, I cannot teach it to you. It is called Dragon Rend, but its words of power are unknown. We do not regret this loss. Dragon Rend holds no place within the way of the voice.
My time saw the assassination
But not Dragon Rend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, in order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege.
and I will follow.
Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax.
One day, you will serve our dread father, as I do now.
Follow me. I will show you how to open the path to Paarthurnax. We have felt the whisper of a word. Give me your map and I will show you where its echo can be found.
Partial to apples myself.
Perhaps not, but this shout was used once before. Have you considered that Alduin, those, if the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end. Look. Sky, Archer. Core.
Let's move faster. Let's not take any sleep.
A poisonous stool, then. I was always partial to
My understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from a Dragonborn. Use it well.
My time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not have the
It's so bright out here.
kill.
I don't know how you stand it. You
Execution. That wasn't a
There
fight.
is murder in here.
Get back here.
Greetings, Wundunik. I am Parthenax. Who are you? What brings you to my Strunmach, my mountain? They see me as master, Wuth Onik, old and wise. It is true I am old. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation? Drem, patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove. Not as in introduction. By long tradition, the Elder speaks first. Hear my Thum. Feel it in your bones. Match it if you are Dovahkiin. I have spoken. The Rotmulag waits. You'll understand fire as the Dove do. Why do you delay? Are you Dovahkiin? Yes, Sosedo Vrosmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind. So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a Jor, mortal. Even for one of Dovasos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me? I have expected you. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin. Alduin Comate Teed. What else would you seek? Alduin and Dovahkiin return together. But I do not know the Thum you seek. Croesus, it cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jor, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove. The dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts. Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum? Pruzha, as good a reason as any. There are many who feel as you do, although not all. Some would say that all things must end, so that the next can come to pass. Perhaps this world is simply the egg of the next Kalpa? Lean Vokin? Would you stop the next world from being born? Paz, a fair answer. Rofus, maybe you only balance the forces that work to quicken the end of this world. Even we who ride the currents of time cannot see past time's end. Wulsetid los trahodis. Those who try to hasten the end may delay it. Those who work to delay the end may bring it closer. But you have indulged my weakness for speech long enough. Croesus, now I will answer your question. Do you know why I live here, at the peak of the Monavin, what you name throat of the world? True, but few now remember that this was the very spot where Alduin was defeated by the ancient tongues. Varucht Unslad. Perhaps none but me now remember how he was defeated. Yes and no. Viknus Nikaron. Alduin was not truly defeated either. If he was, you would not be here today seeking to defeat him. The Nords of those days used the Dragonrend shout to cripple Alduin, but this was not enough. Ok Mulag Unslad. It was the Kell, the Elder Scroll. They used it to cast him adrift on the currents of time. Not intentionally. Some hoped he would be gone forever, forever lost. Meye. I knew better. Tidbo Amativ. Time flows ever onward. One day, he would surface. Which is why I have lived here. For thousands of mortal years, I have waited. I knew where he would emerge, but not when. Tid Krent. Time was shattered here because of what the ancient Nords did to Alduin. If you brought that Kell, that Elder Scroll back here to the Tid Ahran, the Time Wound, with the Elder Scroll that was used to break time, you may be able to cast yourself back to the other end of the break. You could learn Dragonrend from those who created it. You have it. The Kell, the Elder Scroll, Tidkrech Kalos. Time shudders at its touch. There is no question. You are doom-driven. Kogan Akatosh. The very bones of the earth are at your disposal. Go then. Fulfill your destiny. Take the scroll to the Time Wound. Do not delay. Alduin will be coming. He cannot miss the signs. His work has just begun. is yours.
Gormley! Running out of time. Battle!
Today, Alduin's lordship will be restored. But I honor your courage. Krifwolf Akrin. Die now in vain.
A glorious day, is it not?
Have you no thought beyond the blooding of your blade?
What else is there?
The battle below goes ill. If Alduin does not rise to our challenge, I fear all may be lost.
You worry too much, brother. Victory will be ours.
Why does Alduin hang back? We've staked everything on this plan of yours, old man.
He will come. He cannot ignore our defiance. And why should he fear us, even now?
You blooded him well. 4 of his kin have fallen to my blade alone this day.
But none have yet stood against Alduin himself. Golfo, Sori, Birka.
They did not have Dragonrend. Once we bring him down, I promise, I will have his head.
You do not understand. Alduin cannot be slain like a lesser dragon. He is beyond our strength. Which is why I brought the Elder Scroll.
Veldir, we agreed not to use it.
I never agreed. And if you are right, I will not need it.
We will deal with Alduin ourselves. Here and now.
We shall see soon enough. Alduin approaches.
So be it.
Tarudis Ane Him Hind Paliv Zuur Yindan.
Let those that watch from Sovngarde envy us this day. If I die today, it will not be in terror.
Ready!
First time, worm. I see it in your eye. Skyrim will be free!
It's no use.
Hold Alduin on the wing! Sister Hawk, grant us your sacred breath to make this contract heard. Begone, World Eater. By words with older bones than your own, we break your perch on this age and send you out. You are banished. We shout you out from all our endings unto the last. You are banished! Yes, the World Eater is gone. May the spirits have mercy on our souls.
My belly is full of the souls of your fellow mortals, Dovahkiin. Die now, and await your fate in Sovngarde. You are too late, Alduin. Dovahkiin, use Dragon Rend.
You're quite noisy for someone who claims to be a thief.
Look. Nakib. And await your fate in Sovngarde. You are too late, Alduin. Dovahkiin, you have become strong. But I am Alduin, firstborn of Akatosh, Malagi Zoklat. I cannot be slain here by you or anyone else. You cannot prevail against me. I will outlast you, mortal.
Where'd you go?
That's what you want? Kongrach. You truly have the voice of a Dova. Alduin's allies will think twice after this victory. Ni livrach hin moro. True, this is not the final Kongrach victory, but not even the heroes of old were able to defeat Alduin in open battle. Alduin always was Pachlok, arrogant in his power. Uznagar Par. He took domination as his birthright. This should shake the loyalty of the Dove who serve him. Yes, one of his allies could tell us. Matmahus. But it will not be so easy. Perhaps the Hafkasayun, the palace in Whiterun, Dragon's Reach. It was originally built to house a captive Dova. A fine place to trap one of Alduin's allies, yes, but your Sum is strong. I do not doubt that you can convince him of the need. I have taught the way of the voice for centuries, and the Thum since long before that. But no, Dovahkiin. Others do not come here to train anymore. Saran, you are the first in over 100 years. I meditate on the Rotmulag, the words of power. I counsel in their use. It is enough for me. Knowing a word of power is to take its meaning into yourself. Contemplate the meaning of a Rotmulag. You will become closer to that word as it fills your inner self. Will I teach you, Dovahkiin? What word calls you to deeper understanding? There are 3 to master. Fus, Faim, and Yol. In your tongue, the word simply means fire. It is change given form, power at its most primal. That is the true meaning of Yol. Solyek, power. You have it, as do all Dove. But power is inert without action and choice. Think of this as the fire builds in your Sum, in your breath. Sum Ark Mora. What will you burn? What will you spare? Which calls to you, Dovahkiin? Fade in your tongue. Mortals have greater affinity for this word than the Dove. Everything mortal fades away in time, but the spirit remains. Ponder the meaning of spirit. Unslad Zi. Where mortal flesh may wither and die, the spirit endures. That is fine. Let that meaning fill you. Sum Ark Mora. You will find that your spirit will give you more strength. Which calls to you, Dova? It is called force in your tongue. But as you push the world, so does the world push back. Think of the way force may be applied effortlessly. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. That is Fus. Let its meaning fill you. Sum arc mora. You will push the world harder than it pushes back. Yes, this was ages ago, you understand. There were more of us then. I used to visit him from time to time, nearly crazed by loneliness and captivity. I do not know how he came to be caught, but the Bronyun, the Jarl, the Hofkosayun has been known as Dragon's Reach ever since. Which calls to you, Dovahkiin? In your... that... think of this as the fire builds. Your sum in your breath, Drem Yolo, which calls to faith, ponder. That is fine. Let the... meaning. Speak. Which calls to you. It is... think. That is Fus. Let it... meaning fill you. Which calls to you. Faith upon... that is fine. Let that meaning... Feel you, sum arc mora. You will speak. Which calls to you. It is... think. That is Fus. Let its meaning... feel...
better be important.
That's all you've got. Your end is near! You breathed your last! Making this too easy!
This better be important.
I might just be a servant among lords, but don't think for a moment I don't take my...
Divines bless you. May the ground you walk quake as you... Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is... That is an old tale. Long ago, there lived a mighty hero of the Nords. Olaf. The struggle between Olaf and the dragon culminated in a mighty duel atop Mount Anthor. Olaf returned in triumph to Whiterun, by his decree, and so, from that time until this, our great keep has been called Dragon's Reach. Ah, splendid. Our fine city has a proud history.
You should be talking
and I'm
to
happy
my
to share
steward.
what I know. Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
Mutual advantage. Any fool can see. For centuries, we have benefited from the Empire's protection and prosperous trade with the South. In exchange, the people of Cyrodiil sleep peacefully, knowing their northern border is guarded by the fiercest warriors in all Tamriel. Ulfric's Stormcloaks. Do you think Ulfric really cares about Skyrim's independence, or the welfare of its people? He's nothing more than a barbarian renegade, whose lust for power has cost the lives of countless innocents. I must have misheard you. I thought you asked me to help you trap a dragon in my palace. What you're asking for is insane. Impossible. You want me to let a dragon into the heart of my city, with the threat of war on my doorstep? Alduin, the World Eater himself. But how can we fight him? Doesn't his return mean it's the end times? I don't know about such things, but I heard the graybeards summon you. That's good enough for me. Now what's this nonsense about trapping a dragon in my palace? I want to help you, Dragonborn, and I will, but I need your help first. Do you think the Stormcloaks will sit idle while this dragon is slaughtering my men and burning down my city? No. I can't risk weakening the city while we are under the threat of enemy attack. I'm sorry. Then I would be glad to help you with your mad dragon-trapping scheme, but getting both sides to agree to a truce will be difficult at this point. Maybe. What of the graybeards? They are respected by all Nords. High Hrothgar is neutral territory. If the graybeards were willing to host a peace council, then maybe Ulfric and Tullius would have to listen. Aye, Dragonborn. Maybe you can stop the dragons, and this war into the bargain. According to legend, although I never thought to put the tale to the test, Jarl Olaf One-Eye it was, who later became High King. They say he shouted it into submission in single combat atop Mount Anthor, and brought it back. Numenex was the dragon's name. That's his skull decorating the main hall. My men will be ready when you are, Dragonborn. You have a truce to arrange first, eh? Next time, deal with Avenici. Quite.
I find your hand in my pocket. I'm going to...
Evgir Onslaught has come at last. The season unending. War.
Somebody help! Huh?
Where are you?
What was that? Who's there? I knew I heard something.
Valid challenge.
What was that?
Who's there? I knew I heard something.
Yeah! Yeah!
as partial to apples myself. My time saw the assassination of an emperor as well. Alas, the Dark Brotherhood did not have the honor of that kill.
What was that?
There is murder in the air. I can taste it.
Oh wow, this is gorgeous.
Who's there?
Who's there? Your feeble attempt to hide is insulting.
Over here.
Someone do something.
Nothing! Fire! You can't hide from me.